Let me just start off by asking you about the ceasefire proposal that has been put forward overnight by the US, EU leaders, other Arab states as well. First of all, is this a welcome proposal? And how likely is it that Hezbollah will agree to the terms?
Well, this proposal is very serious. This proposal is being pushed for, as mentioned earlier, by Qatar, by Saudi Arabia, the United States. France is behind it. Most of the European Union is in favor, and everybody is really hoping that this would be accomplished. That's why the next 24 hours would be very critical, because we are at a very serious turning point. If a ceasefire is to be accomplished now, we would really have helped Lebanon, we would have helped the region and avoided a full-scale war that is very, very close to happen, in the few hours and few days ahead of us.
Are you confident that Hezbollah would agree to the terms of the ceasefire?
We feel there is a lot of flexibility for the past 24 hours from the Hezbollah side. I'm stating that as a member of this Lebanese government, as Minister of Economy and Trade, who has been communicating, very serious messages about the repercussions of such a full-scale war on Lebanon's future, on Lebanon's economy. And I think they do realize, all the parties realize, that it's not what Lebanon needs now, and it will be destructive to the country, and it will be destructive to the region. So I think there is a positive. We have received very positive messages, I would say, the past 12 hours since our Prime Minister has reached New York and has his speech at the Security Council. There has been positive messages from Hezbollah within an intention to avoid escalation.
Let's turn to the economy. Even before this war kicked off, Lebanon's economy was in a state of decline, with almost 50% of the population living below the poverty line now. How is Lebanon going to be equipped to deal or to transition away from an economy that was already struggling to now an economy in a state of war?
Well, it's not easy. Lebanon has been, functioning, the government has been functioning within a state emergency mode for over 3 years now. And the economy is in a very bad place. This war has added a layer of challenge to Lebanon. In 2023, we were hoping, we had expectations of growth. We had hopes that certain sectors, including tourism and food industries, will flourish. All that has gone. All that has disappeared. Growth is non-existent at this point. Talking about foreign investment, it's far to reach. So we are at a very difficult place. We are at a very difficult point. That's why we are saying any extension or any spread of that war or any escalation will definitely take our economy to a worse place. And that place might be a point of no return for the economy. We still had hope, and we still have hope, that we can flip things around once there is a little bit of stability and we can work on the economy, we can work on the reforms. But if this war is to continue, if this war is to escalate, this mission will be very difficult, and it might be a very difficult place to come back from.
Minister, wars tend to be inflationary for the economy because it becomes increasingly more difficult to source what the people need. What contingency plans does the Lebanese government have in place now to secure food for Lebanese people, medical supplies, baby formula, nappies, things like that? What contingencies do you have in place?
So as far as contingencies go, as I said, we have been functioning in an emergency mode for quite a while. And particularly myself, being the head of the Food Security Ministerial Council, I have been working very closely within the public sector and the private sector partnerships to stock the country with as much food, baby needs, bread, wheat, all the essentials for the past year. even before the war started, because we have been, Lebanon is a big importing country, and we have seen those challenges coming, particularly after the war between Ukraine and Russia, that affected our food security in a major way. So we are at a decent place today where we have stocks that can last for 4 to 5 months of everything. However, our concern is only not to have any of our, ports or airports affected, because that will affect the trade cycle, and then we cannot bring in additional stocks. But so far, we have coverage for about, between 4 to 6 months of food and other products that are needed by the people.
Within Lebanon, I believe the foreign minister said that up to 500,000 people have been internally displaced. But I'm hearing of reporting of people looking to take advantage and introduce price gouging, whether it's on rents in hotels or people's houses. But prices have shot up and taking advantage of people's situation of being displaced within the country. What is the Lebanese government doing to control that type of activity and to prevent price gouging from happening?
Well, price gouging has been a serious problem on many different commodities and products as well since the economy started collapsing. Many traders, many businesses were trying to take advantage of stocks that are available and the needs of people. However, within the Ministry of Economy and Trade, our Consumer Protection Agency has been playing an essential role all across Lebanon with people monitoring over 25,000 sales points. We have introduced for the first time in Lebanon a digital solution that now tracks and traces all the price gouging happening, and it gives the citizens the opportunity to use applications over the phone immediately to file to the Consumer Protection Agency claims, where we are able to nail down, within less than 24 hours. So we are trying to do our best to keep this under control. But again, I would say within the instability now in the country, within the massive number of people that are displaced, it's quite a challenge. But I think so far we're doing so good, and I hope things won't escalate more so we won't face more challenges.
Minister, what is the plan for the day after the war for the Lebanese economy? And again, we started this conversation talking about the fact that the Lebanese economy has been in a state of decline for the last few years. Many stumbling blocks vis-a-vis a potential package coming through from the IMF, because there isn't enough international confidence in the Lebanese government's desire or ability to implement reforms. What is going to be done once the war is over to ensure that Lebanon unlocks some of that international support that is so critical for the trajectory of the economy?
Well, if I may allow myself to state that I consider myself one of the reformist members that came to this cabinet. We have done a lot of work to try to get the IMF deal, because we knew what Lebanon needs is to regain the trust, as you mentioned, of the international community. And that has not been accomplished. I say that very openly, and it's unfortunate due to the political tensions in Lebanon, due to the political dilemmas between the different political parties. So the reforms that were requested to really get back the economy on its feet and to portray and reflect trust to the international community has not been accomplished. We didn't reach more than 50% of our commitments to the IMF and to the international community. So the day after the war would be a major and really patriotic moment for all of Lebanon to really move forward, leave all their political agendas behind, focus on the economy, focus on the reforms. Otherwise, we would have not done anything for this country. We would just drag the country into more collapse in the economy and more problems, rather than putting it on the right track with the international community and with the reforms needed to move forward with a better economy.